Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Meepolis and this is Literally Graphic. And today I want to highlight a comic a couple months too late, but for all of my fellow latecomers, I cannot recommend Bingo Love highly enough. Alongside that, I also think y'all should check out Professor Flowers, a black leftist YouTuber who I only recently started watching, but I've really enjoyed digesting every video she has listed. Commentary and critique, and for my comic reading peers, I really appreciate the way they use anime in their stuff. But back to Bingo Love, published in 2017 by Inclusive Press via a very impressive Kickstarter. In 2018, it was nominated for the Graphic Novels and Comics Goodreads Choice Awards and awarded the VLA Graphic Novel Diversity Award for Adults. A pretty positive story if you have sensitivity around queer people being forced into heterosexual marriages or had to live through the fallout when parents can't hold on to that lie anymore. This story might not be for you right now. According to their Wikipedia page, Bingo Love is writer T. Franklin's first book. She works for Image as their first black female employee and created the Black Comics Month hashtag. Like her characters in Bingo Love, Franklin also lives in New Jersey and also identifies as black, queer, and disabled. Tracking down JENN ST-ONGE's portfolio website, she describes herself as a tatted Canadian cat mommy comic artist. She has also done work for Minecraft, Archie, Nancy Drew, Giant Days, and Jem the Misfits. Joy San is the colorist and apparently from Mississauga. And finally, we have Cardinal Ray on lettering. Flipping this digital edition over, the description is as follows. Bingo Love is a story of same-sex romance that spans over 60 years. A chance meeting at Church Bingo in 1963 brings Hazel Johnson and Mari McCray together. Through their formative years, these two women develop feelings for each other and finally profess their love for one another. Forced apart by their families and society, Hazel and Mari both married young men and had families. Decades later, now in their mid-60s, Hazel and Mari are reunited again at a bingo hall. Realizing their love for each other is still alive, what these grandmothers do next takes absolute strength and courage. Gender and sexuality are obviously pretty central to the story. I was pretty surprised by how much denial and repression could be shown in a book that still stayed so positive and felt like a book primarily focused on queer love. I guess my one critique was that Hazel comments at one point later on that she is bi or pansexual. Obviously she might be, but the way it is framed in the story was clearly that she was in love with her wife and put up with her husband with minimal intimacy. And that doesn't really seem to point to bi or pansexuality, just like how you can be gay without even kissing someone of the same gender. You aren't bi or pan because you are in relationships with people of multiple genders. Maybe I'm just being overly sensitive, but it didn't seem like a bad thing to highlight, as this also relates to the idea of bi/pan individuals being unreliable and prone to cheating. While less of a focus, the honest depiction of aging characters means that Bingo Love does highlight some of the ways everyone will eventually become less able-bodied. As a medium centered around words and pictures, race is really beautifully integrated into Bingo Love, with black people of a wide variety of skin tones represented. There's also a wide variety of body shapes and hairstyles, and there's also an unabashed centering of non-white American cultures. There's certainly a few white passing people wandering around in the background, but there's no need for the story to explain itself. Class is one of the only intersections that felt like it wasn't really addressed, and that's fine. I rated this volume 4 out of 5 stars. Bye y'all, keep reading and resist white supremacy. And as always, Literally Graphic is recorded on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation. I live here because of British colonization, Indigenous genocide, and more geographically specific, Treaty 13, also known as the Toronto Purchase, which was finalized in 1805 between representatives of the Crown and certain Mississauga peoples. This treaty was a lie and has since been broken many times over. Saying so reflects only my own small steps towards knowing the truth and does nothing for reconciliation.